Our study of religion this semester began with several key concepts. One of the most salient among them is that religion is embedded in all aspects of our culture. This is important for us to consider because it's very easy to bypass that particular concept. And I guess I too am guilty of that. But the idea here is not to criticize anyone or to blame, but to show how normal it can be to think this way. For as long as I can remember, growing up in America, the notion of separation of church and state has been a normal part of what it means to be American. Our history shows that the Founding Fathers left England in search of religious freedom and began a new life where they could believe as they pleased. Even though it's not so simple as I state here, they progressively arrived at a constitution which disallowed any particular religion from having unfair sway in political affairs. That was and still is a good idea. After all, a state-mandated religion could only lead to advantages for a few or for some and marginalization for others. Nonetheless, this points to our lack of understanding and has stymies our ability to successfully address the present situation facing the world. To think that we could partition religion out of our society is like saying that we could turn off our emotions based on stimuli that we have received, whether intentional or haphazard. The texts and assignments we've had this semester have helped me, have to shift my perspective. In particular, the profiles of Syria and Pakistan. These two countries have an intense, rich diversity of religions, faiths, Jews, Muslims, Christians, Jews, and others. And it's unimaginable to think that this many faiths living in the same space could live without an occasional conflict. Nevertheless, it's important for us to understand, even at the local sphere, on my own personal level, that if I were to talk about how I interact with my coworkers based on my moral code and their moral code, we could have conflict. But it's important for us to be able to talk and to understand, knowing that a person's personal moral code is theirs, and we need to take into consideration and maybe sometimes even acquiesce. Our study of Pakistan also reveals that the national condition springs from decades of strife from rival groups. Muslims against Muslims and against Christians. We have the Sunnis who occupy a large percentage of the Islamic faith there. And even though that is prescribed as the state religion, all Muslims do not enjoy the benefits of nationhood in Pakistan. Take, for example, the Alawis, who are not even allowed to call themselves Muslim, according to the law. I ask myself, how would I react if our Constitution denied me the right to call myself a Christian based on their definition? I don't think I would accept that at all. So it's here, henceforth, obvious to me that the inclusion of religion in daily dialogue be part of the consideration when we interact with people. I'm not suggesting that we go around asking people what their belief system is, but we should begin to anticipate that our interactions with people may bring into play their moral code and thus pose another perspective worth considering. If, for example, we are working in the secular sphere, we should be aware that more often than not, we are likely to encounter people whose belief systems are different from ours and may hinder or aid progress depending on how we interact with them. Religion, more than any other concept I know, is one of the best ways of finding meaning and belonging. It is in the best interest of politicians, economists, and ambassadors to make discussions of religion and faith an integral part of their approach to addressing issues such as world peace